I'm going to try to attack that here.
Okay.
That was my goal earlier. Sorry, the coughing hindered me. Okay. As you said, and when we reference to the Prophet Musa, Isa, and Muhammad, Musa, of course, is Moses. Isa is Jesus. Just so you have an understanding there. With excuse me. During this month, the Quran was was revealed. And I know sometimes people are like, well, it was reeled in this month, but it was reeled over 23 years. To better explain that, the Quran was sent down from God to the lowest heaven during this month on the night of power. And then from that point, it was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad over the course of 23 years. So just to kind of clarify there. Now, in terms of what Ramadan represents, like you said, Brother Zizane, we do have the fasting, which you don't have any food consumption or drink consumption, but it's primarily about bettering yourself. During this month, the Prophet, excuse me, at that time, was focused on bettering his actions, bettering his worship to God, bettering his charity, bettering his mannerisms with how he dealt with people. And that's what we try to embody and grow with ourselves during the month of Ramadan. It's a month of worship, really for ourselves, but we still do it in a community fashion, in a unified fashion. But it's strictly for worshiping for the sake of God, sake of Allah.
I think I understand your point, brother. There's a lot of emphasis or unnecessary emphasis that goes into what are you going to eat when you break your fast, and what is your meal going to be, and all the treats that you want to have. And every Ramadan I find it interesting, because this is a phenomenon in our own house, that before the month is starting, we are spiritually trying to prepare and make our goals for how we want to better our habits and get rid of some bad habits and improve upon some things and get closer to God. But we got to go to the grocery store and stock up. You're fasting. Why do we need to stock up,
Yes.
It happens every time. But, and I've been noticing a trend among lots of friends of mine and things I see on social networks about how they're trying to de-emphasize the idea of what time is being spent in the kitchen and what are you going to eat when you break fast. And my husband and I were just talking about how we've tended to gain weight. Isn't that ridiculous? But you gain weight in Ramadan because you're eating greasy treats when you're breaking your fast, and that's not what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And just here at home, we've tried to curtail that a bit. I know there are things that the family likes to have, and I know that iftar is also, which is the fast-breaking meal, is also a really great time for the family to come together. It's a communal time. We all sit together. We all break fast together. And, we have kids at our house, and they like treats and things like that. So, I've, through the years, learned tricks of different things to do to do some pre-prep, some pre-planning, so that my time is not spent in the kitchen. Right. And that's not my focus. And I don't want my daughter to learn that come Ramadan, you got to head in there and get all the stuff together and cook all the stuff and go to the grocery store. Well, that's part of life. That's a little bit of it, but that's not what it's about. And I'm really trying to emphasize that to her. And I find a lot of other parents trying to do that with their children as well. So.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. And appreciate your call, Brother Zizadeen.
Thank you.
We're going to move on to the next caller here. We have Sarwar in Fairfax. Sarwar, you're on the line.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Want to wish everyone happy Ramadan and encourage everyone to listen to this awesome radio show.
Thank you.
And if you know Bukhari and Hadi from going to school, so assalamu alaikum, guys. In a while. I just wanted to, I was listening to Sister Dilshad's talk. I wanted to also say that I have been working on a small Ramadan booklet because being active in the Northern Virginia community, specifically the Musaf Center, I see that the young generation, they tend to forget that Ramadan is a deeply spiritual month. It's just not fasting from food and from, all other physical manifestations of such of the month, but it's actually a deeper sense where you develop a relationship with the Quran, rekindle a relationship with Allah, with the God. And so I have made a little booklet that I'm passing around in Northern Virginia. I have friends in all over the United States that I've passed it out to. And inshallah, I can probably, I haven't e-published it. It's a little too late for that, but I do plan on doing that. But maybe I can send you guys some copies, and maybe you guys can post it on your website.
Yeah. Send it to us, and we'll go ahead and publish it. You can basically send it to the web email address comment@communityradioshow.com. And for everyone else, if you have any suggestions, questions, or anything like that, that's the email that you can send us, or you can just go to communityradioshow.com, and that'll have information on there too. Yeah, I was gonna add that for me personally, there's a struggle every month in Ramadan, is because I know that it's not that the abstention from food and all that kind of stuff is just the means towards the end, and the ends being a spiritual growth. And I feel the pressure of having to have that spiritual growth and going about it in multiple different ways. I mean, one year I was actually, in addition to reading the Quran, I was actually reading the English translation so I could understand what was going on in Taraweeh. And so I think what happens with the food part is that's because that's the easiest thing that people understand is, you're not eating and drinking for the day, but they don't understand that spiritual growth that goes along with it. And I can remember a saying of the Prophet that he said that, I believe either a man came to him or whether he was just saying this, and he said that, if you go through 30 days of fasting and that the only thing that you've tasted is just thirst and hunger, then you haven't gone through it. You haven't, gotten what you need to get out of it.
I think you're absolutely right, Hadi, and it really makes me think about that first post I wrote last Ramadan about the struggles we were having. Because for me, I, like you all are saying, I understand that the greater goal and the greater thing has to be spiritual growth and our, reestablishing our connection with God and being thankful for what He has given us and realizing that when we are abstaining from food and drink and other things. But that was the problem I was having, because I'm fasting and I'm doing my 5 prayers and I'm making dua, I'm making prayer for things that I would like to have happen, things I want for my son and my children, and trying to feel that connection. And it was tough. It was not happening, and that was my struggle, because if you don't have that, then all you're really doing is a crash diet, and what's the point of that? You have to have the spiritual to make sense of the physical fast. And that being said, that's the goal, or that should be the goal of Muslims in fasting, and it's a tough one. And I got to be honest, there are some years that are better than others.
Right, definitely.
There are, I'm hoping this will be a good year, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. All right, Sarwar, thanks for calling. We have we're coming down to the last few minutes of the show. I can't believe how quickly that hour went by. Thank you a lot, Dilshad. I do want to bring you back on, because I do want to specifically talk to you about your blog that you have and the challenges with having a child of special needs. But I really wanted to thank you for coming on and giving up your Saturday morning.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, thank you. So
thank you.
That was Dilshad Ali. She's the Muslim channel editor for Patheos.com. That's PATHEOS.com. All right, so we're down to the last what?
Yeah, we only got about 4 minutes left. If we got the phone lines open, if somebody wants to call in, I know there's a lot of people out there listening, and just ask us a question, anything off the top of your head. We'll try to answer it. Any topic, anything you can ask us about ourselves. But outside of that, until we until we get a call.
Yeah, the number, you want to give it the number. It's 788-0990, 877-953-3990. I mean, they need to know what they're calling. Just,
I'm trying, man, okay?
For those who weren't clear, it's 977-341.
Thanks.
All right, we're getting another call. So one thing I want to mention is I didn't specifically say it. So as part of the spiritual growth that you go through, is Muslims engage in kind of extra prayers, extra acts of worship. One of which that they do is they read the Quran. They try to read the Quran the entire month. How many pages are there in the Quran?
It really depends on which publication.
That's true. I'm trying to put a number with it. It's probably about.
Yeah,
there are 30 chapters, and every day you need to read about.
Well, there are 30 parts.
30
there are 114
parts.
chapters.
Yes, I'm sorry. There are 30 parts. Thank you for correcting me on that.
About to just
you don't say much, but you just
you gotta keep you tight, man.
Yes, there are 30 parts, and so there obviously there's 30 days. So every day you want to read a particular part, and that helps you with your spiritual growth and helps you with a deeper understanding of the meaning of the Quran. So we had a caller, and it just seemed that they dropped.
I guess that might have just been a general question.
Yeah. So the numbers once again is 804-788-0990, 1-877-953-3990.
Okay, just to fill in the dead air here.
So I was looking for my
and also just to make sure we get our plugs in, we do have a Facebook page. Sorry, I got the engineer laughing at me here. Hopefully I'm going to be better next week. You get a much better quality co-host here.
I was trying to convince him that it's he's sick and he shouldn't be fasting.
Plug the show, man. I'm calling. Plug the Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, Twitter, all that.
It's it's communityradioshow.com. We have a Twitter handle there. It's at comradio990.com. We have line 2 I see is ringing, and someone who's anonymous. That sounds interesting. Are they on? Oh, we're gonna wait for them to wow, this could end really well, or it could be just
Well, and realistically, if we can't answer the question in the time that we have, then we will address it next show, which will be next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yeah. Wow, we got another call. So we're coming down. Okay, we got 1 minute left, so go ahead and hit the line.
Oh, no, line just dropped. Oh, is it? Yeah, line just dropped. Okay.
Sorry. So go ahead and call back or check us out on the web. Or you can submit your question there. We'll try to get back to you next week.
And definitely. They'll call back in next week.
Late bloomers.
I'm telling you, man.
Last 3 minutes, we had like 4 calls.
I know. Let me give you, again, I wanted to thank everyone who contributed, particularly Chiropractic and Family Wellness, Car Care Auto Center, Pure Yoga. All of their information is listed on our website, and the generous contribution of individuals out in the community. I think we have another call.
I can try you right now, but hold on.
Let's see.
Line 6.
Line 6. Hit 6. Hello. Go ahead.
This is the Community Radio Show. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Assalamu
alaikum.
How are you?
Well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. I just wanted to say that your show is really awesome. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
I just heard about it now, and I'm gonna continue listening to it, inshallah. I wanted to call on behalf of the gentleman that called earlier, Sarwar. I actually got the booklet from him, and it's really beneficial. It basically helps you keep track of, how to do Khatam al-Quran, finish reading the Quran, based on our 9 to 5 schedules, because people feel like, work gets in the way, and I can't finish the Quran. But the way that he has it set up in the book, it's 4 different tracks on ways that you can.
Yeah, well, definitely. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I hear the music coming on, so that means that we're going to get cut off. But I wanted to thank everyone for calling in. Make sure you tune in next week, 10 o'clock every Saturday, and our website is communityradioshow.com.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, and this is Bukhari Sirraj and Hadi Panah, I guess, signing off. Until next week, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your questions. We'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.